Welcome to Courageous Conviction. Remember that Jeff and I record each Saturday 5 episodes. So please hit the like button, subscribe so you catch all 5 episodes. We usually start out with one theme or topic. We have to go down a lot of rabbit holes to really understand it. Some things are more sensitive than others right now, what's going on in the world. So hit the like button, subscribe, and let's jump into this video. With the exception of in-depth study in Venezuela because of the crisis there. And I saw the invasion and the results of this immigration in Peru and in Ecuador, and how the crime has escalated and the people can't even walk safely anywhere anymore, the turmoil that's in those cities. And because of this illegal immigration, they are now, Ecuador recently is now a sanctuary. I shouldn't say it. It is a country that now allows asylum to be received from America. So there's Venezuela, there's Cuba, there's Nicaragua, and now Ecuador are the 4 countries that I know of that are able to come to America now and claim asylum. Well, that's what they did. And all these Venezuelans came in and started taking up their asylum. And the crime just escalated. And now they had taken their gun rights from them. 9 months ago, they gave them back their gun rights to the citizenry because the police could not control the crime. It was too far out of control. And their constitution doesn't allow the police to control the crime in certain races. And in those certain races and those certain gangs are where the crime is escalating. So they allowed the people then to have their rights back, so to speak, to defend themselves. That's why we left. That's why I came home. So I know what's coming. I saw it. I watched it more than once. And if we don't do something, we're going to suffer these consequences for it. And that's just the facts. So by hiding our head in the sand and say, well, ignorance is bliss, we're going to wake up one morning, there's going to be people busting down your doors. I just saw it. I've been warning people up here. I've been saying, Airbnbs are going to come to an end because of all these illegals coming in. They're going to get into these homes and they're going to start squatting. Or people are going to see these illegals coming in and squatting, and they're going to realize, hey, crud, well, I'm going to let them squat for. I'm going to go squat. And they're going to go rent Airbnbs and they're going to stay in it and they're going to not leave. And I just saw an article this morning before I went on the air today where a lady in South Carolina, I believe it was, went into an Airbnb. Then she posted a sign outside saying, no trespassing. She took control of the Airbnb. And guess what? It's hers. She's staying there. She'll stay there. I can't tell you how much land I've lost to squatters down in Costa Rica. Everybody loves Costa Rica. Well, there's 2 sides to Costa Rica. There's a tourist side that they paint the picture of, and they do that intentionally. It's kind of ironic if you went back in history and learned how much they really, really do not like us in Costa Rica. They don't like Americans at all. They don't want us there. They want us to come, spend their money, and leave. And I've heard them say that many, many times in close quarters because I lived there 12 years. Remember, I lived with them. So you get to know the actual feelings of the people. When you go on vacation someplace, I noticed somebody in our state went on vacation. I was trying to warn him of these certain areas he was going to, a real dangerous area, but he's like, everybody goes, I read all about it. Yeah, a lot of these backpackers go there. They do a lot of things, and they do things that are crazy, and they get kidnapped, and they get killed, and their organs get sold, and the women get raped, and the women get sold off to slavery, sex slavery, etc. It happens in Costa Rica. Costa Rica is a very, very dangerous country. It is a third world country to every extent. I have really good friends there. I'm not bagging on my friends, but the country itself is very, very dangerous. And people don't see it. Just like now, they paint a different picture. They market a different picture. And because we want to believe that, that's what we believe. But that's not the truth. We need to seek out the truth. We need to read the Constitution. We need to seek to understand the Constitution, and not by people who are trying to attack the Constitution. College professors, 98% of them do not want this Constitution, and they're all on board. They're all being paid off, or they all got this real world view that they think is it, that they're willing to die for to destroy that document. That document is part of this gospel. Whether we like it or don't like it, that document is the gospel, part of the gospel. That is the law of Zion that will go out to the whole world. Won't be called the U.S. Constitution then. And but it's a side note, the U.S. flag will also be the flag that represents freedom in Zion throughout the whole world. You know that? Brigham Young. I need to open that up and find that research I did and bring that back up again. It's all down in Ecuador. That's why I haven't brought it up to you yet. going down there in a couple weeks. So I'll go pick that up and bring stuff back so we can talk more about it and get into the detail and see the facts laid out before us and see what they do. Here we are hearing this from the apostle of the Lord who becomes a prophet and maintains the same stance later. He had a lot of opposition here, Hugh B. Brown, but the Lord makes him the prophet, and that's the word that gets out, and that's the doctrine. This is the doctrine that's been established. You're not hearing this today, right? So this is my frustration. I've come back to church. Now, I've been back for 15 years, and I came home. I talked to my stake president the other day. I told him, I said, in Latin America, I expected this mentality. I expected this because it's easier to sway the people. The education system is swaying them, and from a very young age, they're already beginning to form their minds on how to think or not think, rather. It looks good, but they don't think that how to be problem solvers, how to resolve problems. They just stop and they look for authority to tell them how to resolve problems. So they take you to that point of educating you to be really a good employee, but not to be a self-made business person, right? Not to be an entrepreneur, not to take care of yourself, not to gather wealth, but to be an employee that's controllable and manageable. And that's how the education system is controlled down there. I had kids in that education system. I went to battle with those directors of those schools on more than one occasion. And I'm doing it here in a former red county. I'm doing it here. And the principals even said to me here, oh, you're right. I can't argue with you on that. But I got to protect my job, so I got to do what I got to do. And I thought to myself, yeah, I said, that's exactly what Hitler's people said too. His teachers, his doctors and nurses, and his police and military. I got a job to do, man. I got my retirement I want to think of. I got my future I'm dreaming of. And so you're going to jump on this utopian idea and sell your soul and sell out the Constitution and sell out freedom and sell out the Lord, if you will. Because if you do not defend that Constitution, you're selling out the church. You're selling out the Lord, in my opinion. Why? Because you're not defending agency. And without agency, Satan's plan prevails. Now, I know the Father's plan will prevail in the end, but where can Satan do the harm and do the damage? Father wants all of us to come home to him. Where the damage can be done is a lot less come home to Father. More get pulled down to lower kingdoms or no kingdoms at all. And that's where people are headed right now, is to no kingdom, because they are not standing for anything. I shouldn't say that. I guess they stand for their beliefs in LGBTQ and things of that nature. But that is a stance that Satan, those are ideologies that Satan created, not God. So why are we defending those? And why are we not worried about the Constitution? It's a more serious issue. And the Constitution put in its place eliminates all these LGBTQ woke, feel good ideas that are really throwing us off course and to begin with. Look, it's not easy what we got to do, but we got to do our research, and we have to go out and study, and we have to go out and vote the right way and vote for somebody who's going to defend the Constitution. Sorry, you can't see it right now. The only candidate, those two top candidates we have, it's not going to be Kennedy. Now, not going to be RFK Jr. It's not going to be Joe Biden. And Donald Trump may not be perfect, but he's the closest we have to defending freedom and the Constitution in many years, and maybe even since Abraham Lincoln. And that's the truth. Now, look, I didn't vote for him in the last two elections. I didn't vote for him. I didn't vote for Hillary either. But he's going to get my support this time, because I've seen what he's done, what he's gone through, and it's been sincere. And what's taken place with him needs to be stopped, and he's the perfect person to stop it because he's got nothing else to lose. There's no other candidate out there that can stop this corruption, these secret combinations, from taking our churches and our religion and taking it from a right to nothing more than a privilege, which then they'll take away from time to time and then eventually forever. I thank you for being with us on Courageous Conviction. Remember, there's 5 episodes each week that we put out. We have to go down a lot of rabbit holes, so stay with us, hit the thumbs up, subscribe, and don't miss tomorrow's episode on Courageous Conviction.